Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there and having yourselves a fantastic start to your Sunday and a great weekend out there so far as we make our way a little bit closer to the end of it. Unfortunately, got a little weather to talk about with you folks this morning. Not a whole lot to talk on as things are going to probably simmer down a little bit today compared to what we saw yesterday with all the active weather along the East Coast. Some crazy weather. I believe there was a confirmed tornado all the way in New York State yesterday. So the Catskill areas definitely looked like there was a confirmed tornado. We'll see a little bit more information. We'll hear about a little bit more information on that a little bit later today, probably as a survey team from the National Weather Service will probably go out there and check that out. We also had, I wouldn't say a super unexpected tornado, but you had a tornado and a very low risk of a tornado risk yesterday, if that makes sense, twisting some words up there a little bit. But there was a tornado in central or south Texas yesterday. It was very dusty, very photogenic. Some storm chasers got it, but that was a little bit of a surprise, I would say, as one of those big-time supercells certainly produced a tornado. But today, I would say a little bit of a less of an active day, but some severe weather, rainy conditions, and we'll talk about that in this video. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate the support and people making this part of their routine. Tonight, we will pump out a video for you folks. We'll do a little bit something different compared to what we've been doing over the last couple months. Over the last couple months, I really haven't been talking much on the weather past the 2 to 3 to 4 day range. But tonight, we'll dig a little bit deeper. And we will at the end of this video too. We'll talk about the risk of some frost and freezes for people, because I know that's important to a lot of folks who's planting and stuff like that. But we'll talk a little bit, deeper into the rest of April, which is another week, and then we might tap into a little bit of early May. I never go too far out, and that's just because I don't believe in trying to predict a month of weather 2 months before that month, if that makes any sense. Or some people like to do a winter weather forecast, try to predict a winter like the June before the winter. I just don't do that. A lot of people who do what I do that. And that's not a knock on them whatsoever. I don't, if anything, I give other channels shout outs here. But people love doing that and people love watching that. And I think that's why people make those videos, to completely honest with you. I'm going to keep it real. But, a lot of people have asked me, hey, Mitch, why don't you do a winter forecast? And they'll ask me that in like August or September. And I'm just like, nah, I just don't think there's enough. I just don't think we have enough weather history to try to predict a season out. That's just my personal opinion. I love what Brad Panovich does here locally here in Charlotte, North Carolina. He makes a winter forecast the November like 1 month before winter, and I think that that's respectable. I think that that's a great range to do it at. But regardless, I'm kind of rambling here. If you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below so I can pray over it and so others can do so too. Water vapor loop, the atmosphere has really cleared out, but the cold front is struggling to clear these folks in the far like South Texas and Florida. And that's why you just keep having, episodes of storms that keep on firing up. That's why like the northern half of Texas was colder yesterday. But if you went down to central to southern Texas, it was warm, it was moist. And the atmosphere was primed for some severe weather and big-time hail and even that tornado. Up here, we're going to be dealing with some rain in the northeast. You see the whiter colors, that's higher water content in the atmosphere. And the cold front is just struggling to clear these areas quicker. And it's just the way that this upper trough is digging and this cold front's digging in. It's kind of bowing out like this. Kind of. I wish I had my cursor up. I could show you what I mean. A little bit more beautiful weather in the southeast. I think they will be the breadwinners today. Slight risk of severe thunderstorms in South Texas, Corpus Christi, the Brownsville, everybody in between to the west, along the coastal regions. And that is really what's going on right now. There's a big-time line of storms that's developing and will continue to develop and strengthen. And we'll talk about that later in the video. Tornado risk, there is that 2% risk, so watch out. Wind threat, 15% risk, 15% hatch risk. So you have a 15% risk of winds pushing 50 knots or higher, 55 to 60 miles per hour. And then a 10% risk in the black outlined area, which is the entire yellow area, of seeing 65 knots or higher, which is basically hurricane force winds, about 75 mile per hour winds. Hail threat, 15% risk of hail pushing 1 inch of diameter or larger, but you could have some larger hail with this too. All right, the excessive rainfall outlook. A lot of rain's already fell this morning in areas of South Texas, but even more could fall throughout the late morning and afternoon hours, where you have a slight risk, which is at least a 15% risk of flash flooding guidance being met within 25 miles in any given location. So this is going to produce a lot of rain. We'll talk about what's going on in that area a little bit later in the video. But the Southeast today, it's actually going to be a fantastic weather day. Beautiful late April spring day out here in the Southeast, where there will be no rain, but there will be some clouds in this region where it doesn't necessarily show rain, but there'll be some cloudy conditions in Arkansas, Tennessee, maybe northwest Mississippi, and maybe just some downright rain in like northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas that might make its way through. And then you got this big complex of storms, which we'll talk about here in a second, that enters the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to definitely irritate some fish and whales out here in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to cause a lot of ruckus. Hopefully there's no big time ships out here, but they will see this coming. This will probably produce a big time shelf cloud out here in the western Gulf of Mexico. But some showers kind of drifting through Mississippi throughout the evening hours. They will try to maintain themselves all the way into Alabama, central Alabama, with some rain showers will make their way through. And then might have some showers basically from eastern Texas all the way into South Carolina throughout the middle of the night tonight, the wee hours of the morning, and certainly could wake up tomorrow morning to some showery conditions, from anywhere from maybe south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area all the way to Columbia, South Carolina. So, but not a washout. Not a washout. We didn't get I made a joke on Twitter saying we got 34 drops of rain here in Columbia, South Carolina yesterday. We did not get rain. It's getting kind of dusty out there, and we kind of need a good downpour for sure. The Northeast today, this cold front's just taking its time clearing. So you got, a line of showers and storms kind of working its way through southern New England this morning. This will continue to make its way through southern New England and New England. So we're all the way at lunchtime, and we have, some showers, some heavier rain, no real snow with this. And this is stretching all the way from out in the Atlantic from the south all the way into Canada to the north. And this will whip through, produce some gusty winds, already kind of windy out here right now this morning. And just some rainy conditions will continue to make their way through Vermont, New Hampshire. It's going to be a very rainy afternoon for like Boston. These will kind of be moving more so, I would say, south to north, but the directional movement of it will certainly be to the east, just very slowly to the east. But a little bit of snow and maybe some of these higher elevations of New Hampshire, maybe Vermont, is definitely possible. But finally this evening, this rain clears out. We'll try to enter Maine, but this will really begin to fizzle out and then maybe re-enhance itself tomorrow. But we're definitely sticking on today. But rainfall between now and tomorrow morning, a couple inches of rain's possible. Some of this has already fell, but from western New York State through Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, even Long Island, a lot of rain could fall today. Just a soggy Sunday, just one of those days where you just want to sit back and read a book. It's definitely, or just watch some TV, definitely a soggy day for sure. South Central U.S., some cool showers up here in North Texas. We'll drift through, but down to the south, big time thunderstorms. But there could be some moderate to heavy rain up here in North Texas. Definitely a rainy day up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Some on and off rain, some more consistent rains possible also. But then you got the big complex of storms down here. And in fact, let's go on and talk about that. Let's look at the radar down here in the San Antonio region. You got a severe thunderstorm bordering Texas, Mexico line right here. But this will really continue to get its act together. And this obvious thing that you see on your screen, and this will sweep through. If you're vacationing down here on the southeast coastline of Texas, you are going to absolutely see this coming. But this is moving very slowly. All right, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, some damaging winds possible. It's going to sweep in. So please watch out in this entire area throughout the day. Some nasty storms are going to make its way. Damaging winds are possible, some hail, and a brief tornado threat. But I would say that's definitely lower than yesterday in my opinion. But, HRRR model shows it. This will, by the time you get into this evening, this will be clear. But you're going to have to deal with this rapidly intensifying line of storms, a lot of heavy rain. This will blast through South Texas today, Corpus Christi. Please watch out. Like I said, you will see this coming. This will be a nasty line of storms. But by the time, you get to dinner time tonight, it's on off the coastline. Cooler temperatures follow behind it, and then that's a wrap. That's it. So just be aware of this. Like I said, you will physically see this coming. It's going to be just a pretty potent line of storms. North central U.S. today, cold temperatures, and then just a rejuvenation of showers and snow showers. Just depends on where you are. This is around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Anywhere from Minnesota, the Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan to Michigan. Rain, snow showers, maybe some grapple, which is basically, in a nutshell, just snow sleet, like a combination of snow and sleet. It looks like sleet. I would say it looks like sleet, but color-wise, it looks like snow, if that makes any sense. But this will fly through. Could get some real good burst of snow with this, or grapple with this for sure. This will kind of fly through and last all the way through tomorrow morning. You got some weird flows out here. You got this working its way back from the east over the UP of Michigan. But snow, just areas of a couple, a tenth to a 20th of an inch of snow is possible. Just some scattered areas that could see a coating on their, car hood, things like that. But, temperatures today, need to wrap this video up, get ready for church. I had to restart it over about 10 times. I just couldn't get going. But the southeast, like I said, the breadwinners of the best weather today. Beautiful spring type conditions, 70s, 80s, low humidity. The only area where you're going to hang on to humidity is in South Florida. But everybody else, like I said, there's going to be a corridor of some cooler temperatures in Tennessee, the North Mississippi, northern Alabama, through Arkansas, through North Texas, where there'll be cloud cover and some rain showers. Might struggle to get out the 50s, but where there isn't any of that, and Oklahoma, for example, might warm into the 60s. But in general, much chillier day, much chillier Sunday across the country. Maine might be more warmer today than maybe northern Mississippi. So, but beautiful day in the southeast, cooler temperatures to the north. But much drier air, like I mentioned. The only area where you hang on to the humidity is far South Florida. But these are dew points. It'll feel more crisp out there for sure. And any areas that did not get any rain yesterday, just be careful. Doing any fires, burning any things, I wouldn't do it because it's going to be kind of windy, kind of dry, and, never know what could happen. Tomorrow, calm day. Not really any severe weather predicted, but as we get into Tuesday, this was kind of the area where there was a slight risk a couple days ago, but now they do have a slight risk for day 3. So we do have severe thunderstorms coming into the picture. We'll talk more on this tonight, but there's a slight risk for Tuesday right here in the middle of east central Texas. So we'll watch out for that. I do want to mention really quickly, and we'll mention this again tonight, there's freeze warnings for a lot of areas in the middle of the country. And frost advisories for areas pretty far south. In fact, the entire state of Texas has frost advisories. And, you got freeze warnings in the southern Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. So very cold temperatures. And, I'll mention this. This is temperatures waking up tomorrow morning per the National Weather Service, well below freezing up here, which, still can happen this time of the year. But, watch out in Tennessee. You plan anything, you're going to flirt with a freeze, unfortunately. And here it is, it's going to be the morning of the 24th, but very cold temperatures. Anywhere where you see like the low 30s, definitely 30 or lower, definitely cover up your plants. But once you get to kind of in the southern areas of the deep south, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, eastern Carolinas, I think you're safe. And in fact, by the time we move into Tuesday morning low temperatures begin to moderate. Still a cold morning in the Ohio Valley. But temperatures moderate for sure. But I think tomorrow could be quite a chilly morning. We'll talk over this again a little bit in tonight's video. But that's all I got, guys. God bless all y'all. Have a great day, and I'll see you tonight.